I can't believe it's taken me this long to talk about it, but I have to admit that I am such a huge H2O fan. I mean, it's an Australian pop culture
Oh,
iconic staple. Like, love that for
yay!
you. But I feel like it's touched on in Everyone is Doing Great about the idea that actors want to dissociate from their maybe like teenage or younger roles. How do you feel about H2O now? What is your thoughts on it?
I think as I got older, I really started to appreciate how impactful the series was, especially for younger girls. The fact that it was a series with female leads, very strong characters in their own rights. The girls were sort of their own gang, and it was their friendship that sort of kept them going and kept the secret at bay and all the rest of that. So I think as I've gotten older and I've spoken to more people who spoke about how it's affected them growing up, and the amount of girls that were like, Ricky let me just like really own my space and let me be sort of, not the agreeable, nice, obedient girl. So that sort of stuff's really beautiful. I love hearing that. Like that's really special to hear that a character you played when you were so young to not even understand it has helped people grow up and feel like they can be themselves more. But it's crazy how enduring it is, and the fact that it's still being talked about and played and all the rest of it. So it can be a bit of a double-edged sword, but I don't think I've really struggled post that getting out of that world. It was just more that I wanted to do a certain type of work, and it was just going to take a while until I was old enough to sort of do that work as well. So I don't feel like I've struggled in the way that the boys sort of speak about being typecast, where they couldn't move into anything else. It was just more that I had decided that I was going to have to wait to do the stuff that I wanted to do. So
Yeah, I was going to ask
just a bit of patience.
if you felt like you had to shake off Ricky. Like, I mean, you came back for the spin-off show, but I'm guessing you never did a Miley or Selena and had to completely get rid of the image or anything like that.
Yeah, and maybe it's got something to do with the fact that Ricky was already sort of a little
Yeah,
bit of a rebel, and
that's
you
true.
know, so maybe that's got something to do with it as well. But I don't think I've ever really had to shake it off. I think more than anything, I now, so a couple of years ago, sort of decided that I loved playing a villain and like not a very nice character. Like the hero's great and fun, but I
Boring.
love playing the person that you're like, oh, I've really got to like get into the
Yeah.
psychology of like how this person ticks and what makes them do the sorts of things that they do. So I think if anything, it just pushed me the other way, where I don't really want to play a hero anymore. I want to play someone that's like that you love to hate, or is like, oh, I've got to like learn to accept this flaw about this character in order to love them. That sort
Yeah.
of role. That's what I love doing.
And there's heaps of the TikToks at the moment. Like, there's such a pop culture resurgence with this show right now. Like, what is the reaction to seeing people say Cleo, Ricky, like just making complete fun, but like in the spirit of being fans of this project?
Yeah, I've been really blown away a couple of times at the like effort and the attention to detail of some of it. Like these people have really put a lot of time and effort into it, which is such a compliment. So I think it's great that it can be a show that sort of gets poked fun at as well, because I think at the end of the day it does still sit in this sort of nostalgic appreciation of kids' childhoods, but you can also poke fun at it, and I think
Yeah.
that's a really nice level of like being comforting, but also being able to poke fun at things that should have the Mickey taken out of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, nostalgia is huge at the moment with all these reboots, iCarly, Lizzie McGuire. Would you ever
Hmm.
revisit? I mean, what is your relationship like with the other girls now?
I think more than anything, I mean, I think we were extremely lucky with our cast. We've got a great group of people. I'd love to work with those guys again. But I think more than anything, it's just like you start looking at like older mermaids, it starts getting a bit like
not the same teenage dramas. Like they'll be going through divorces.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it translates. I think like high school students is like the perfect age group to set that sort of world in. So I think, look, it's still being appreciated for all of its flaws and the good parts as well. So I think it's still got a little bit of life in it, and I'm happy to let it sort of run its course in that way.
I mean, there's too many questions as well. How does childbirth work? What are they like as moms? Too much.
Yes. How do you live that life as a person who is never seen outside when the weather's not anything less than sunny? Like, sometimes the potholes start just becoming gaping wounds that you're like, I don't know if we can traverse this. So